I want to bring something to y'all attention before we get into this show. There are 3 countries that don't have a central bank. And that's cool, if you know what that means. But the bigger thing that I don't think people are talking about is the repatriation of the gold. So, after World War II, due to the fact of, Hitler and, Japanese and stuff, they were running through everywhere, taking everything. They were just looting every country they went into. So these countries, France, the United Kingdom, a lot of these different countries secretly shipped their gold to the United States to be held in Fort Knox, so it wouldn't be taken by the Nazis. So historically, there's been a lot of gold in the United States. Now, there's been a repatriation of gold, but it's picked up since this last financial crisis, this recession. And, that is significant. That is very significant. A country that has all your gold, holding all your gold, but they can't balance their books and they're trillions of dollars in debt, would you go get your gold back? I know I would. So, with that being said, there's only 3 countries that don't have a central bank. We got France that's urging Europe to take charge of its own defense. French President Emmanuel Macron pushed Monday for Europe to take responsibility for its own defense, saying the continent's security shouldn't rely so much on the United States and could even include discussions with Russia. Y'all see what's going on? France is going to go with Russia all day. If you understand, the politics of how this thing works, France is going to go with Russia. Maersk is that shipping. Maersk, vessel loaded with Russian fish and South Korean electronics, will become the first container ship to navigate an Arctic sea route that Russia hopes will become a new shipping highway, the Arctic voyage. The Venta Marsk is the latest step in an expansion of the so-called Northern Sea route, which is becoming more accessible to ships as climate change reduces the amount of sea ice. Everything is changing, y'all. The Federal Reserve Bank Chairman of St. Louis, Federal Reserve Bank, James Bullard, last Friday raised concerns and alarms over the U.S. Central Bank's plan to keep raising interest rates, warning that even one more rate hike could set the stage for a recession. This dude works for the Federal Reserve. Bullard, who spoke to Reuters on the sidelines of a conference here of the Global Central Bankers Economists, said the yield curve of the U.S. Treasury suggests investors see slower growth after this year and no danger of inflation ahead. I'm telling you, that yield curve is very important. North Korea accuses the U.S. of hatching a criminal plot to unleash war. This is on CNN Politics. North Korea state newspaper accused the U.S. of hatching a criminal plot to unleash a war against the DPRK while having a dialogue with a smile on his face. Sunday, following a report that South Korean radio that American forces in Japan were running drills aimed at invading Pyongyang. We cannot but take a serious note of the double-dealing attitudes of the U.S. as it is busy staging secret drills involving man-killing special units while having a dialogue with a smile on its face. Commentary from North Korea's Ro Dong-sin-moon said, citing South Korean reports that U.S. special units have been flown to the Philippines as part of an invasion drill. The U.S. would be sadly mistaken if it thinks that it can browbeat someone through trite gunboat diplomacy, which is used to employ as an almighty weapon in the past and attain its sinister intention. Think about that. So didn't United States President Trump sit down with that dude recently? Said everything was good? But back to what I was talking about, let's talk about gold repatriation. Gold repatriation refers to a plan of various governments to bring home their gold stored outside the home country. Many nations use foreign vaults for safekeeping, a part of their gold reserves. In 2014, there was a movement by some European nations to return gold stored abroad back to the owner. The Dutch Netherlands Bank, I don't know how to say that, reduced its proportion of gold held by the New York Federal Reserve from 51% to 31%. And Austria and Belgium reviewed the possibility of taking similar measures. Let's talk about some stuff. Germany, right? United States going at Germany. In January 2013, the German Central Bank announced plans to repatriate 300 tons of its 1,500 tons of gold from the U.S. and 374 tons from France by 2020 in order to have half of its official gold reserve stored in Frankfurt. The gold in the U.S. was earned by West Germany through trade surpluses in the 1950s and 60s. It was never moved out of the United States due to fear of invasion by the Soviet Union. In 2013, a mere 5 tons were shipped due to logistical difficulties. However, whoa. You trying to tell me, y'all know what logistics are? Shipping and stuff? Yo, you trying to tell me that the United States couldn't return that gold due to logistical difficulties in a whole entire year? There's 365 days in a year. And out of those 365 days, they only returned 5 tons? That's ridiculous. 2013, 5 tons. 2014, 85 tons. 2015, 190 tons. Makes you wonder. Things that make you go, Let's talk about these countries with currency crises. Y'all want to get to the first one? What country pops in your head when you think of currency crisis? Oh, I'm sorry, Venezuela? Oh, well, check this out. Before 2012, the Central Bank of Venezuela held about 211 tons of its 365 tons of gold reserves in American, European, and Canadian banks. In January 2012, however, Venezuela completed the move of 160 tons of gold bars valued at about $9 billion back home. The operation was ordered by President Hugo Chavez in August 2011 and it was overseen by the central bank chair, Nelson Marentes. Wonder why Venezuela is having so much problems with their currency right now? People are dying over there. Y'all want to talk about Turkey? Let's talk about Turkey. Turkey, global governments continue to bring their gold holdings home from the U.S., and the phenomenon isn't limited to the likely hardline suspects like Germany and the Netherlands. Turkey is the latest country to repatriate its gold. Turkey repatriated 220 tons of gold from abroad, and 28.7 tons was brought back from the U.S. last year. Turkey's gold reserves are estimated at 564 tons and are worth about $20 billion. Turkey is among several countries which have been moving gold from the U.S. The way began in 2012 when Venezuela announced it was repatriating 160 tons. Are y'all putting this together? You see what's going on. You picking up what I'm putting down. This stuff ain't no game. This stuff is no joke. So you mean to tell me that these countries that are having currency problems, where the people are dying, losing weight, and we got migrants being separated from their families, children and stuff. I have children. That bothers me. All this stuff going on, and it's just a coincidence that these same countries have recently repatriated all their gold? I don't think so. Everyone wants their gold back. This is bad news for the Federal Reserve System. I'm sorry, this is April 27, 2018. This is a while ago. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York is facing a growing skepticism, and a bank run on the Fed's gold has begun. April 27th. There's a bank run on the Fed's gold. Gold has been stored mainly in the United States and London in order to protect gold reserves during times of conflict. The Cold War, for example, or to improve the liquidity of their gold reserves by moving them closer to the large trading centers. That certainly made sense at the time, but we are now seeing a reverse movement of repatriation as there are some doubts as to the real existence of those gold reserves. In the two main storage locales, London and New York, there is a high probability that gold reserves from several countries have been leased to bullion banks and then sold on the markets in order to control the gold price and thus maintain the illusion of value of paper currencies, such as the dollar, the euro, etc. When central bankers, often under pressure from our own government, decide to repatriate their physical gold, one can logically assume that they have some doubts about all of their gold still being there, especially in a context where no real audits of gold reserves are being performed. Physical gold is making a comeback in the international monetary system. Several governments and monetary authorities are aware of this and are worried about the existence of their gold reserves. After Venezuela, Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands prudently repatriated a substantial portion, if not all, of their physical gold held at the New York Fed or other Western central banks in recent years, this morning, Turkey also announced that it has decided to repatriate all its gold stored in U.S. Federal Reserve and deliver it to Istanbul Stock Exchange, according to the reports. So Turkey just finished repatriating its gold, and then what happened? Oh, they had currency problems. Erdogan, or whatever that dude's name, he's telling people to turn in their gold to help save the country's currency. It is going down over there. So I see a common link between getting your gold back from the bully and the bully tearing up your economy, tearing up your country, tearing up your currency, maybe even doing drills with your enemies. And this is no joke. I've been feeling a certain way for the past couple of days because I've been getting ready for this show, and I've been coming across some really, really low frequency negative information. And I know some people say there's no information that's negative. It's the person who hears the information. You choose to make it negative, man. Children being raped is not my choice to make that information negative, man. It's not. I watched a video. This woman was reunited with her son. You know, one of those refugees or whatever, trying to get into the United States, and they got separated. Man, dude didn't even know who she was. She was crying and stuff. It's going down. And I know it's going down. So now is the time to start your business. Now is the time to go private. Right now. Right now. If you have to depend on a salary to maintain your family, to feed you, to sustain you, you are more than likely going to enter some sort of slave type situation. We're going to get universal health care. You're going to get a chip or a microchip in the web between your thumb and your index finger. They're going to give you a stipend, a certain amount of money is going to be given to you. Like, what is it, universal basic income or something like that? I mean, a lot of people are pushing this, floating the idea of a universal basic income. And you will be a labor slave. You will go into a labor camp. You will work and you won't get paid. You won't have to pay electricity or maybe your water bill or maybe even your rent. And you'll probably get rations of specific food. But you're going to have to work crazy hours, probably 6-7 days a week. And your debts are going to be converted into the new currency or the new monetary system. And from the old debts in U.S. dollars to the new monetary system, it's going to be a large gap that most of us are not going to be able to jump across. If you're a United States citizen, you are going to be a debt slave. You are going to be a worker slave. You need to look into these FEMA camps, look at all these FEMA camps all across the country, and look at, the geopolitical things and storm that is going on right now. I got out here people whispering about another confiscatory action with regards to precious metals. And that's why I'd be like, grab them American Eagles because they're non-confiscatable because the Congress designated them numismatic. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm about to go out here and get this. Excuse me. Give me 1 second. So this is actually, I'm about to pull out, this is the legislation with regards to the numismatic coins that I'm talking about. Where did I put it? Commercial code, UCC. I got this big 3-ring binder with a bunch of stuff. I mean, I got so much information that I've read, that I've gone through, that I've memorized. Okay, this looks like it. Nope, that's not it. So these American Eagle coins, there's gold coins, and they do fractional coins, so there's like tenth of an ounce and stuff like that. That's official. And the American Eagle silver coins. Man, I was just looking at this thing. They are numismatic and designated, numismatic by Congress. And these coins were commissioned by Congress in 1985. But in 1984, the Internal Revenue Service proposed legislation stating that numismatic coins were non-confiscatable. Man, where is this thing? I was just looking at it earlier. Just looking at it. It's I'm embarrassed. But anyways, yeah, numismatic coins are non-confiscatable. American Eagle gold and silver coins are designated numismatic by Congress. I think I'm trying to think, like it's 5112 or something like that. Anyways, now's the time to go private. Now's the time to start your own business. Now's the time to go private. The reason why I'm saying that is because, if you're dealing in any type of entity that's subject to, legislation, you're not in control. And you don't want to be in that type of situation. You don't want to be in debt. You don't want to be subjugated. So, being a W-2 employee, we got Wells Fargo. Mortgage applications are down to levels of 2008. Wells Fargo just laid off 300 mortgage brokers, home mortgage brokers, as we deal with this economic crisis, which really is it's more than a crisis. It's really Here we go. Here's the legislation. I found it. I apologize. I'm just going to jump into this. Let's see. Ooh, I'm running out of time. Okay, so check this out. Yeah, so being able to understand what's going on politically, geopolitically, and understand how that's going to affect you and your family is a very important skill to have. I know a lot of us don't have the training, the education, the understanding on how to pick up, and deal with these type of situations. But that's why I'm doing the foundation. I understand that there's a lot of us that don't know what we don't know. But if you're on the fence, if you are sitting there being like, okay, I just got to make just a little bit more money, or I just got to do. If you've been putting it off I highly suggest that you do whatever you can. I don't care if you're dealing with me. I don't care who you're dealing with. You deal with somebody and start your business if you're a W-2 employee. And if you're a contractor, same thing. But you need to arrange your private estate, your private affairs. And we need to have our property titled outside of entities that are governed and legislated by the state or the United States. They're about to do this bail-in. Y'all know what the bail-in is? They did the bailouts last time. And they're not going to do that again. The bailout is, they was too big to fail banks and stuff like that. A bail-in is when the government itself becomes insolvent. So what they do is they bail in your money that's in the bank and convert it to irrevocable shares in the company and the government. You can't sell them. You can't get rid of them. And they'll be like, okay, you can sell these many this day, these many this day, these many that day. But that's about it. And that's not a position that you want to be in. That's not a position that I want to be in. It's not a position that I'm going to be in. But I highly suggest that y'all email me, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. I highly suggest that you get into this private trustee training. I highly suggest that you establish your private estate. I highly suggest that you set up your LLC properly, classify it properly on the state level, on the federal level. I highly suggest that you stop as fast as you can generating income using the social and the debtor. I highly suggest that you stop putting your faith in this paradigm that we know as this banking system, the American financial system, the United States payment system, the United States Federal Reserve note, all that stuff. This stuff is over. All currencies die. In the history of the world, there has not been a currency that has lasted more than like 40 years. And when you're dealing with the Federal Reserve note, it's past its prime. And you got all these countries maneuvering against the United States. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when the United States is no longer able to generate income through trade with other countries? That's when the United States will begin to cannibalize itself. And when I say cannibalize, I mean it will start eating away at its own citizens and the wealth of its own citizens. It will start attacking its own citizens. It will begin to steal from its citizens, subjugate its citizens, denigrate its citizens, revoke rights and privileges from its citizens. So that means anything that you own, anything that you own in your name, your bank accounts, all that things, those belong to the citizen, all capital name. You know where I'm getting to. If you're not going to protect your wealth, I don't even understand why you checking out this show. I don't even understand why you on high frequency. I don't even understand why you ain't watching, Hollywood Housewives or Atlanta Housewives or whatever it is, man. Nicki Minaj do some twerk or something. I don't understand why you're not doing that. I don't understand why most people don't make the necessary sacrifices to get into the best position that they're supposed to be in versus just tolerating a situation that they're in. And you're going to cry and feel a certain way when your children suffer due to your ignorance and your lack of planning. You're going to cry, you're going to blame everybody else and blame the government and blame Obama and blame your baby dad or your baby mom or whatever. Blame everybody instead of blaming yourself. This stuff is happening right now. The world is changing as I speak. But most of us wake up, go to our jobs, get home, eat, kick it with the fam, and this routine that hasn't changed for years and years and decades continues to perpetuate itself. So being humans, we don't see or believe that anything can change or will change. And we never do until it does. So when the United States is finished, check this out. SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, charges Moody's with internal controls failures and ratings symbols deficiencies. The Securities and Exchange Commission today announced that Moody's Investors Service Incorporated, one of the nation's largest credit rating agencies, has agreed to pay a total of $16.25 million in penalties to settle charges involving internal control failures and failing to clearly define and consistently apply credit rating symbols. This marks the first time the SEC has filed an enforcement action involving rating symbol deficiencies. Are they just making stuff up? Y'all know Moody's downgraded the United States credit rating from AAA to AA when Obama was in office. And if you didn't think the United States was a corporation, then why does it have a credit rating, and why is it only AA now and not AAA? Why did Obama get on the news or whatever and basically give a scathing commentary with regards to Moody's and how it was irresponsible for them to do that and blah, 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 blah. Now the SEC is fining these fools. Moody's agreed to pay $15 million to settle charges of internal controls failures involving models it used in rating U.S. residential mortgage-backed securities, and will retain an independent consultant to assess and improve its internal controls. Moody's separately agreed to pay $1.25 million and to review its policies, procedures, and internal controls regarding rating symbols. Moody's did not admit or deny the SEC's charges. The SEC, Moody's, it's a national company. It's a United States company. It's organized under the United States, one of the states of the United States. If the United States comes and says, hey, you owe us money for this, you going to tell them no? They shut you down. You're going to downgrade the country's credit rating, and then 7 years later, they're fining you. This stuff is crazy. I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. So, I don't want to be in a position where it's too late. I was sitting there thinking earlier today, it was like, okay, so let's say, I got my family, I got my children, and we're about to get on like a ferry, or we're about to get on a plane or something like that. And there's people that look like me being held at gunpoint by the Army National Guard because they didn't prepare themselves. And they know that we are getting out of this place that is, going bad and in a terrible way. And I have the means to do it. But it's going to break my heart watching other people not being able to do what I can do. It's going to break my heart seeing people who look like me stuck in a situation that I'm able to get out of. It's going to break my heart knowing that I have a bunch of my family that I had to leave behind because I cannot save everybody. I can barely just save my family. Barely. Let alone you and you and you and you and you and you and you. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. None of us will make it if everyone depends on one person. A lot of people, we've been taught over the years to look around and look around us for leaders, to find leaders and follow them. Ever since we were, children in preschool, elementary school, whatever, kindergarten, they showed us how to line up in a single file line so that we can go places. And in order to go places, you had to go in a single file line and you had to follow the leader. And that's what most of y'all are doing. You're following the leader. And the leader's telling you everything is all good. And, we have record stock numbers. We have record low employment numbers. By the way, they count low unemployment. If you are no longer qualified for benefits or you don't apply for unemployment benefits, then they take you off the numbers. So after 6 months of unemployment, you can't get it, or a year of unemployment, you can't get it. Even if you don't get a job, you're no longer unemployed. But we have record unemployment. We have record low unemployment in the United States. Record high stock markets. Everything's going great. Now, this is the melt up, but right before the meltdown. And it's going to melt down. And there's nothing that any single one of us can do about it. But there's everything that we can do about our own situation. So like I said, now's the time. I'm not going to be on Blog Talk for much longer. I'm not going to say a date because I understand the universe, and once you say something, you will be tested. But I'm not going to be on Blog Talk for much longer. Which really doesn't mean anything. I'm sure, there will be 15 people who come up to take my place. I don't think I've met anyone who comes at this from the standpoint of charity, but understands that you have to apply business principles to it in order for it to function properly. What I see is everyone applying business principles to a business and then saying that they're being charitable. That's neither here nor there. All I know is I own nothing, control everything. Once this stuff starts really picking up domestically, I'm already in a position of power. And once I start seeing things that I don't like, me and my family are out of here. And that's been my mission for the last 7 to 10 years, is to be able to do that. First time I went to the Bahamas, it was gorgeous. And I was successful. I had to transition to another sector of business and become successful in that business to go to the Bahamas again. First time I went to the Bahamas, I vowed that I would bring my family back here because it was so gorgeous and beautiful. It took me 7 years to fulfill that promise. 7 years. So I just want to let y'all know, stuff's starting to hit the fan. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know if it's going to get super crazy or if it's going to be all right. I do look at, the Soviet Union when I'm looking at what's going to happen. The Soviet Union, when that thing broke up, they put up a wall. And there was East Berlin and West Berlin. Put up a wall. And this dude is putting up a wall. You hear what I'm saying? There's a lot of correlations. And those who don't know history and don't study history are condemned to repeat it. All I know is this is the largest economic wealth transfer in the history of modern times. And I'm on the correct side of that wealth transfer. I'm on the air to do my best that you are on the right side as well. I deal with passive investments and passive income. I deal with endowment and private placement accounts. Do I have cash flow issues sometimes? Yeah. When you're talking about currency, do I have wealth issues? Absolutely not. So now's the time. I know it was heavy current event show. It was heavy what's going on right now, but this episode will be archived, and in 10 years, we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, now's the time to start your business. Right now. There's no better time than right now. You dishonor yourself and you dishonor your ancestors when you don't do what you are supposed to do, what you know you are supposed to do when you are able to do it. You bring shame to yourself. Now's the time to go private. Figure it out. Make some sacrifices. Sell something. Go get a second job. It'll be worth it. You're going to be in a workers' camp, or you're going to be in a community. You know how much debt the United States is? Over $1 trillion. Something 13 trillion. I don't even remember, man, but they're doing $1 trillion deficits per year. So they're adding $1 trillion. They're going to start adding the $1 trillion on in a couple years once this, the tax cut, runs out. The United States is trillions of dollars in debt. China was the manufacturing capital of the world. And before China, it was heavy Mexico. You can see a lot of stuff was made in Mexico. And then last 15, 20 years or so, a lot of stuff was made in China. Just watch. You're gonna be a lot of stuff is going to be made in the USA. And you can call it slave labor. I don't care if you ain't getting paid a livable wage. That's slave labor. And those who revolt, they got plastic coffins for y'all. Those of you who don't get down, they got you. That's why I've been aggressively paying off my student loans. I'm not trying to have no debt when this stuff pops. I'm not trying to have none, zero. And any debt I do have, I'm trying to throw them fools some gold coin, some silver coin, and tell them to go shut up. There's finna be lines in areas that you can't pass. I saw this movie, man. Time was money. And you had to work, and they would give you more time. I can't remember how they did it, man. It was like a low-budget movie, but this dude, before he killed himself, he gave this dude all of his time. And so it cost a certain amount of years off your life to get into certain areas of the city. So if you were poor, you couldn't go to the nice area because it took 10 years off your life. You only got 12. So if you went over there, you got 2 years left. You ain't even got a job. You ain't got no money. So you just wasted 10 years of your life. Yo, if you're not working hard, stacking money, it does take your life to succeed. It takes your life to be successful. It takes your life to be economically relevant because it takes time of your life, of you living your life, making certain choices that enable you to do and live a certain way. But enough of my rant. I'm about to go to the phone lines. 424-222-5250. I didn't really get into too much, too heavy. But my spirits are a little low because I was really, really looking forward to, this stuff kind of figuring itself out. And now it's starting to look like it's not going to. And I'm mildly concerned. So I'm going to go to the phone lines. Y'all tell me what you think. Am I full of crap? Am I a doomsday prepper? Am I inciting negative emotions into people? Am I kind of on point? Am I absolutely crazy? Am I helping people out? Am I changing the way you're thinking about stuff? I really want to know. 424-222-5250. Press 1. And that will put you into the queue. I'm going to go to the first caller. Area code 929-4056. 929-4056. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from? (929) 4056. Hit your mute button. 929, I'll come back to you. All right, 804-1139. 804-1139. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, good evening, Solel. My name is Hugh. I'm calling from the center of the universe. That's what they call Ashland, Virginia, believe it or not. And I think you're giving out a lot of important information, but I want to lift your spirits a little bit because what you focus on, you bring about, and if you focus on the negativity, it's the law of attraction, more will come to you. So what I'd like to do is I'm a global visionary. I've had a very bizarre life, and if I can share my name, it might be of interest to you and some of your listeners because there's a lot of documents that you'll come across, and I'm going with a whole different perspective with new paradigms based on spirituality and unconditional agape love, empowering women and indigenous people in the process, and rooting out corruption. That's the biggest problem mankind has had since the beginning. And we can shift things very quickly. That's why they want to control us as quickly as they can, too. But the internet is mankind's avatar for the future. And if we can start coming together with joint ventures and collaborations, I say companies today, you can have the best product, the best customer service. It's no longer enough unless you're being good to your employees, your customers, the environment, giving back to the community in ethical, legal, moral, transparent ways. As my strategies come forth and take hold, it's like a Pac-Man game of transparency that the global elites can't get away from. It will keep bringing transparency back to where it needs to go until they either change their ways or they're dealt with legally. So there is hope, but people do have to take the actions. They can't just look for saviors, and you have to realize, too, that life is, we all incarnated from a spirit. 100 years is like the blink of an eye in terms of eternity. Eventually, we're going back into spirit. The material goods have absolutely no use in the spiritual realm. So what are we really here for? I say it's to learn the lesson of unconditional love. As we learn it, we're supposed to be a blessing to others, especially those who can't help themselves. And whether people want to accept that or not, I say we're fully accountable for everything we do here. So again, things can shift, and that's a choice and an action that you have to take. And you're giving good advice. And I'd like to, if I may, share my name and give a big website that people can look over all the bizarre life experiences I've gone through. I've even have common background with President Trump. I'm not into the ego like he is. I support any president in office to unite this country and bring it back on track and have it be the beacon for the rest of the world with freedom, liberty, and justice for all, so people don't have to keep coming here. We can model what needs to be done in their own countries if we can truly come together in that spiritual way.
Yeah, absolutely, Hugh. Yeah, go ahead. You can say your name and your
yes,
website.
My name is Hugh, Hugh. The last name is Charlson. It's spelled T like Tom, Raulsen like Nancy. You can put it on YouTube or Google it. And there's a big website. If you Google 3 words, it will bring you to a page. Again, my last name, Charlson, is spelled T like Tom, Raulsen like Nancy. Then put the word and, A-N-D, and then Trump, Trump. It will bring you to a page on a website, rootingoutcorruption.weebly.com. My last name already has global recognition. Charleston refrigerators are all over the world, and hotels, hospitals, schools, restaurants. President Trump has them in his hotels or even in the White House kitchen. I'm the firstborn child of the founder and did work for the company for about 8 years when I first got out of the Air Force in 1968. My mother also was a supermodel. You'll see a poster of her that's in the Library of Congress where she posed for wave recruitment posters during the Second World War. On the home page, there's a blog, creativity777.com, which actually has a copy of a letter from former President Obama to me related to the economy, and the poem I dedicated to my wife, titled Caring Sharing, is in the President Ronald Reagan Library, and Maya Angelou even commented on my poem. You can put Hugh Charlson and Maya Angelou on YouTube and hear her kind words about my poem titled Caring Sharing.
Well, I mean, I'm honored to have you, call in. I appreciate, you helping to lift my spirits a little bit. You are absolutely correct. It's the law of attraction. What we focus on, that's what we attract to us. And I appreciate you reminding me of that natural law and that principle.
Yes, like I don't do personally anything as far as email or texting myself. I stay in a very creative mode, but in addition to that website, there's a Facebook page, a picture of me with my finger on a big marble ball or globe and a Twitter and a LinkedIn page. So if you connect with me, I'd like to really work with you and get more exposure for what you're doing. It's very important and very time sensitive. And again, I think when you see who we are and what we're doing, my business partner did an interview with me at the top of the page on the website you get to when you Google Charleston and Trump, where it says business opportunity. Dave Solano's involved with cybersecurity education and more. So it's very synergistic that two veterans are coming together to give this country what it really needs. And again, I support President Trump, but I don't see what he's doing is really helping. It's just a different flavor of ice cream. There's so much behind the scenes that people are totally unaware of. This country is being hijacked by global elites, and trade wars are old paradigm. They're based on control and corruption. And I don't think that we should be, I look for people through the strategies we have and what you're talking about to reach out to homeland countries, and just trade usually is a more of a peace-making mode as opposed to what the elites want. They want chaos, and they make tons of money through the munition sales on both sides of a war. That's well documented throughout history. And that's what people have to understand, too. So they have to really take the time to just hurry up and slow down, is an old military expression. And no matter what they're doing, I've been through pretty much what everybody's going through, plus a whole lot more, and worked 100-hour weeks for many years. But at the same time, while I did that, I still tested my own entrepreneurial abilities, functioning as an independent international marketing consultant, and what a whole new world opened up to me. You'll see even a Wall Street Journal article with attachments from 1983 on that big website that I was written up in. That article triggered an investigation that eventually led to the resignation of Jim Wright from Speaker of the House in shame, the third highest office in the country. And the article beautifully describes how special interests and lobbyists have totally corrupted Washington. It was before Ross Perot talked about it back in the day, but due to apathy or people not knowing what to do or how to do it, that's why we're in the state we're in now. So I say there's four big areas that are controlling us. It's mainstream media, big government, big business, and religion, and they're all in cahoots together. So people really have to look in the mirror and say, who's controlling me? If you don't have a direct heart-to-God connection, it's not about religion, but it is about establishing a personal heart-to-God connection. And if you can just ask for guidance for what your mission is, you will get that. And I say nature is God's classroom. Put the devices down, just get out on it, and stay in gratitude always. And just be a blessing wherever you can to others, and that blessing will come back to you. So I thank you for giving me the time. I'll let you move on to some of your other callers. But again, I look to connect with you and help you with what you're doing, and God bless you for doing it.
Okay, I appreciate you. I have your number if you
yeah, that'd be great. You can call me too. Yep, that's great.
Okay, yeah, give me a couple of days, and I will definitely give you a call. I appreciate you calling in. I'm honored.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you too. Now, are you in the Bahamas? Are you living there now, or?
No. I was just vacation. I took my children on vacation.
I was to Grand Bahama Island years ago. And again, related to my life, you'll find that big website quite interesting because our family used to vacation in Cuba. I was there when Castro overthrew Batista, and we got out on an emergency flight. I have all these bizarre synchronicities and stories, and these even a page, I believe it's Spirituality and Multi-Dimensions, that the church I was married in has a website where they have miraculous photos, and one supposedly captures the face of the devil close up. So there's more dimensions that people are aware of too. So I always say to people too, if you can't do anything else, if you're too afraid or you can't, whatever, just pray, and God will put the ego in check where it needs to be. Because again, we came from spirit. We have a creator who created us. whoever you feel that may be. I'm not going to get into the semantics on that. I personally accept Jesus Christ because he gave two basic things on how people should live their life. Again, it's not about religion, but it's taking it into your heart. Always put God first, and secondly, love your neighbors yourself. If you can bring that into your heart, into your family, into the community, you're right on track with your life. And then if you get involved with programs like what you're talking about, you'll be way on top of everything. So thank you very much again.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you have a great evening, sir.
Thank you.
All right. We're streaming. I appreciate that wonderful addition. Brother Hugh Charleston, Ashland, Virginia, the center of the universe. Very, very, very smart man. You can tell by the way he's speaking. Yes, peace. The next caller, let me do this. Let me try this 929 number. 929-4056. Yes, no? What's your name? Peace. Nathan. All right, let's go on to 205-0377. Peace, family. How you doing?
Greetings, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
So can you hear me? Greetings.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I can hear you now good and clear. My bad, bro. I had the Bluetooth on. You know how that is. I had to snatch it off. Yeah, but, man, it's another one, you know, another brick in the foundation. You know, what more can we say? You know what I'm saying? Just speaking from, you know what I'm saying, from that realm where there's a time within a time that don't exist. So, you know, should give thanks, you know, within that time, that divine time, it does matter. It does count. You know, what we do, what we don't do, what we believe or think or know, what matters. You know, those are different dynamics. We got to get from believing, you know, from thinking, which is a function, to believing, develop the belief into confirmation to knowing. So those are stages we got to develop and go through. You know what I'm saying? We got to go through those adept chambers, so to speak. You know, so yeah, like it's powerful. I take the caller. I'm like, wow, it kind of got me unexpected right there. That element, you know, got me. I like, wow, okay, you know it's real, but it's real. So yeah, definitely. So you know, it's time though. It's past due time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, thanks, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, keeping everybody on their toes. You know what I'm saying? What's popping, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? As well, get yourself established. You know what I'm saying? The estate is always a must. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the prerequisite. You know what I'm saying? So, it's what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So, how you been doing, though? You know, how the universe been treating you, man?
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, everything, you know, I have no complaints. You know, honored and blessed every day. I'm thankful.
Right.
You know, I know that there's a lot of us who are not in the best position, and a lot of us who are in the worst position. And, you know, I feel, honestly, you know, I feel kind of responsible for my fellow brothers and sisters, you know. Like, someone got to say something, someone got to do something, someone got to do, you know, reach out. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm holding something, you know. But it's just, you know, my thing is that, you know, as long as we can make proper moves, as long as we can stand on reason, we have we have so many excuses. There's so many distractions every single day, you know, from TV to, I mean, there's so many things. And then, like, I'll say it to somebody, like, you know that I'm going through it. And most people will take it. Will be like, yeah, well, I'm sorry, and I'll be talking straight trash. But it feels like today. It feels like today so much is accepted and acceptable across the board that it's just. And then, you know, with what's going on and what I know and what I know that I don't know, I feel like, you know, we all need to if you have it in you, if you've ever had it in you, if you ever stood there where you were looking in the mirror, you stopped, or you were laying down or whatever, and you were like, man, you know what? I know I should be doing this, or I know I'm supposed to, and you're not on it right now, but you ever had it, like now is the time, right now. And if you can't feel it, like, then Brother So L is telling you, I'm the seeker of the truth, and I'm the speaker of the truth, and I'm telling you. And this is an ego, but I'm telling you, like, look, now is the time right now, and you will be blessed, and you will be honored, and you will be propelled by forces of the universe that you cannot even see. Like, if you cannot take them first 2-3 steps, and then that fourth step after you get punched in the stomach and it hurts, whether you know, run out of money or you get evicted or, you know, you get broke up with or whatever, you know, you're gonna be tested.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Or maybe you're not. I don't know. I can't dictate the world, but you know, now is the time. Right now. Otherwise, shame on you.
Right.
Shame. I mean, just imagine like sitting in a room and 400 people, like in the middle, and then every head looks at you. Every single eye. There's 800 pairs of eyes on you looking at you. And it's shame because you know, man, I'm cool.
Wow.
I'm not even look. One day I will be laying in a bed with tubes in me, about to be out of here, and I'm trying to have no regrets. Like, look, I did it right. I did this. You know, I made these mistakes, but man, I know it was cool. I should have, with tears in their eyes. Like, nah, no. And if you can't say no and be about that, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what to say.
Right.
I'll pray for you, though. In the end, I'll pray for you because that's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? Put good energy out, whatever it is. And I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about us.
Right.
You know
Right. You're right. As a collective, I mean, that's the part of the accountability and responsibility that we each share. Like, if we try to neglect that's bastardizing the situation, man. That's like really what it is. I mean, each one of us on this line, those who are listening, you know, everybody, those who are going to catch it in the archives, everybody, like, when you catch this, you just now link back to accountability or being responsible, whether you know it or not. You just been real walking again. For you tuning in and vibing on the frequency, you just received accountability again. So there's no way to sweep that up under the rug. And that's the beautiful thing about change and taking place, because we're not the only ones who have reached this moment to that pinnacle top where, you know, you got to do something to create change and get better results. So, you know, it's really real. We all just receive accountability each time that we tune in into the show, actually. Honestly, like, we can look at that way. That's on our account. That's on our other private divine account with the Creator and the ancestors and everyone else. Especially if you're doing this and people are already paid away. You know, that's a level of accountability. So, yeah, I definitely feel that. You know what I'm saying? I accept it and step up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? I know I made some mistakes and things, but, you know, I have done better. I'm doing better. You know what I'm saying? I continue to do it. You know, I share this information with others, so, you know what I'm saying? Just to drop jewels as well, give it to them, let them know, hey, this is your information. It's only yours, though, if you're going to pick up on it, though. You know, and do what it takes, do it. So it's good, bro. You know, thanks again. It's another one, once again. Give thanks to the Creator, ancestors, forefathers, foremothers, forerunners, and all those amongst us, you know what I'm saying? You know, you and I and all of us, man. Give thanks, bro. So, yeah, I'm going to go study, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I'm going to go study. I got to hit another shift, but I'm going to go study, man. I got to double up. I just doubled up on another shift, too. So that's another thing. So it's all good. I'll begin with you.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Love you, man. Take care of yourself, man. Enjoy yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed.
I'll talk talk to you soon.
Bet. In a minute, bro. Peace. Peace and love. Peace.
Peace and love. All right, y'all. I know there's more callers. We've been streaming and, kind of getting emotional. And y'all know I'm trying to keep it business. Bottom line is, last couple days, I don't know. Maybe it's just been, and then the video of our sisters at the hair shops, man, with the Manchurians, with the Asian brothers, with the Chinese brother or whatever. I think he was Vietnamese, fam. And then he spun her around and punched her in the face, and she was bleeding. She was bleeding out of her mouth, man. But look, man, for hair, man. But that's me. That's me, and that's me looking at myself. I've been dealing with that. I love y'all, and I trust that y'all will do what you need to do to make it happen, because that's all we can do. The only thing that we can control is the things that we do and the things that we don't do. And even while we're worried about that, there's a lot of things going on around us within our environment. And my thing is, regardless of what it is, it's all about how you deal with it. Not what happens, but how you process. How do I process? How am I dealing with it? With that being said, now is the time. Right now. There's been no other time but now. And there's been no other plan for there to be any other time but now. The only thing that can stop that is you. And the only thing that can manifest it is you. You make a choice, and while I look at myself, I will stop making excuses. I will stop blaming my situation on others, or on the weather, or on my childhood, or whatever. And I will hold my head high and do my dance. So you do yours. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And y'all enjoy yourself. And do right by yourself. And do right by your children and do right by others. Because everyone you meet and everyone you look at is actually you, homie. With that being said, peace. Peace to you. Peace to the God.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.